My wife's own sister exposed her affair, so I took a paternity test.
Oh boy, that sounds like a lot.
A couple of weeks ago, I, 32 male, found out that my wife, 33 female, cheated on me 6 years ago. The way I found out is that her sister told me. After we went to visit her to see how the delivery of her first child went, she confessed that 6 years ago, my wife had told her she slept with her best friend while wasted. In her words, my wife was very sorry. At the time, she told me I was with my son, 5 male, and immediately after leaving her house, I went to take a paternity test with him, fearing the worst. A week later, I got the results and my fears came true. My son is not mine. For some reason, I began to see the boy differently, more as an acquaintance than a son. With proof in hand, I confronted my wife at night while the child was sleeping. She asked me who told me, and I simply said it was none of her business, although obviously it won't take her long to connect the dots that it was her sister. That's not my problem now. By the way, this comes from Deleted, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. I'm Savannah.
I'm Sophia.
I'm Keon.
And we are here to give some good advice, Goofly, but we don't have all your answers. We don't tell you what we would do, but let us know what you would do down those comments. As OP says, I asked her for a divorce, which is now in process. She was devastated and swore to me more than once that nothing happened with anyone again, that she has been faithful to me in body and soul since then. I held back the urge to insult her to avoid complications during the divorce, not believing a word she said, mostly because she blamed the booze instead of taking the blame herself. After talking about it, she threatened me, saying she would demand full custody of the child. I was so annoyed at that moment that I told her, okay, I don't want anything to do with something that is not mine. She could keep the child and I'll keep the dogs. We have 2 dogs that we adopted as puppies, currently 8 years old each. After that, she tried to convince me to take care of the child with her, saying that I am his father. At that moment, I exploded, and I just yelled at her to go and take her kid with her. A week has passed since then. I'm at home. It is in my name because it is a gift from my parents, and she went to her parents' house with the kid. She has not called me since. She left with everything and the half-asleep child when I yelled at her, especially since it was the first time I had really yelled at her, which surely affected her. I talked to my parents, and my dad told me I did the right thing and that I shouldn't be raising something that is not of my blood. I agree with him, however, the pain is still there. My younger brother told me to write here to entertain myself. I am currently seeing a therapist 3 times a week.
That's good.
Who told me I have already taken the first step, which was to leave behind what causes me pain. It just hurts to know that my family no longer exists.
That's like, you could have had your son still. That's
Nah,
crazy.
but I think it's already, like, OP, once that truth bombed, I think he cut that connection immediately, which I don't know how you can, but he did. He's like,
well, the thing is, if I can commend him for cutting himself off if he believes now he's going to treat the child differently and it's going to give that child some sort of, trauma growing up.
That child is traumatized for life.
Yeah.
again,
Imagine you think that this person is your dad and they just up and leave out of nowhere. Your dad's gone.
Yeah, that happens though.
And like for the it's the wife's fault for his feelings. I absolutely agree. The wife sucks. I don't even care about her. I'm talking about the kid.
It's not the kid's fault.
It's not the kid's
Yeah.
fault. Like, I don't care. Like the wife should get everything that's coming to her. She's the worst. Divorce her. Hate her. But like, to drop your child like that is wild to me.
Yeah. As for why my sister-in-law told me everything, according to her, she felt guilty seeing me always happy with my son, knowing that he may not be mine, and seeing us visit her in a moment of weakness caused her to completely break down with guilt. I don't know how true that is. I just know that right now I feel tremendous hatred for my wife and a feeling between pain and resentment for the child. I just hope the divorce goes smoothly. We have separate finances and properties, and if she really asks for child support, I have proof that he's not mine. According to the lawyer, that's more than enough if she tries a legal process. My therapist also recommended that I not see him or her, that regardless of the child's feelings, I should focus on my own first, and that the child is no longer my problem, and the sooner I accept it, the better. Any advice?
I've seen a lot of disagreement in the chat. I can't. I'm sorry. I can't.
That's just a harsh reality.
Damn. I just can't imagine being like, peace out, not my problem.
Some people are different.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I think everyone sucks here. I agree with Good Morning Petty Potatoes.
Yeah. Truthfully, because you don't know, like, I don't know. I think the sister's kind of crummy for saying it.
Well,
But
keeping it a secret
also,
until
yes,
then. Yeah.
keeping it a secret. Yeah, I mean, the whole thing is effed.
Yeah.
But I also am trying to, like, figure out how
Yeah.
it could work, because I don't think, like,
Ronan says y'all don't understand how expensive kids are. I don't know if that's like the point here.
I agree with the therapist in saying, okay,
Yeah.
you need to focus on yourself rather than focusing on what's best for everyone in this situation.
Sure.
I
Oof.
just, it's so hard to just turn that off. But I could see, you know, from your perspective, like, that's a huge betrayal, thinking that this is your child. Now it's not. And now it's like, my
Absolutely.
whole life is flipped. What do I do? And the first thing you do is distance yourself. I think that was smart, because you don't want to start taking things out on your kid, or
That's
you-
great.
you know,
that is a great point.
doing like a huge argument
in front of the
it.
child.
Yeah. So it's like, I think it was good to separate. I think now maybe talk it over and see if you could co-parent, but also
He doesn't
it's not
seem like he
it's not
wants
his
to.
kid. It's not his kid. So he really doesn't owe the kid anything. Like, truthfully, he doesn't. It is sad.
Oh,
But it's not his kid.
I don't know if
Yeah.
I think that you do. I kind of think he does owe the kid something.
I don't
think
I don't think he owes anything.
I don't think he owes the kid
He gave the
anything.
kid 5 years of being a father.
Oh, that's so sad.
It does.
It
Yeah,
is
it's
sad.
horrible.
That's crazy.
But that's a reality.
It's
and-
horrible, but
But the
that's
thing is, like, we're not in that
I have to
position.
yeah, sorry. I gotta disagree. I think OP was wronged, and I think I agree. Distance is good until you can get work through it. But I think if I
mean,
had a
but the thing is,
yeah, I
he
think
he
owes a
doesn't
little
have
bit.
an obligation to do that. He doesn't have to.
Not legally, no.
Yeah, legally, it's like, I'm not, like, I don't want to co-parent because you told me this. That our entire relationship is built on a lie. For 6 years, you never told me this. That child is not mine. I don't want to be a part of you anymore. And that also now includes the child.
And I guarantee, he resents the child now,
Yeah.
which he
Yeah.
shouldn't. And it's hard. I don't know how he can, but
Yeah.
he is.
There is an update, though.
Hey guys, we're gonna get back into the story soon, but first I've gotta ask, Dakota, what's wrong?
I'm trying to tell my friends what I do for a living, but they keep telling me it's AI. How do I prove to them that what I do is real?
Why don't you just invite them to the OK Storytime live show? Saturday, September 26th. There's even an early bird special. Up until August 26th, you can get your tickets for just $10.
$10? Well, my friends can totally afford that. Okay, Storytime Live!
ugliest person in the entire world.
Oh, so this is exclusive head.
Right? Just go to okop.show and get your tickets.
Yeah, take that, AI. Why don't you?
Well, 2 weeks have passed since my first post, and 3 weeks since everything happened. Not many relevant things have really happened, but here's a short summary. About 3 days after my post, my ex came to my house and asked to come in. I met her at the door and told her she is not going to set foot in my house while I am here. If she is going to say anything, it would be at the door. She practically begged me to take her son back, saying that if I want to cut off all contact with her, that's fine, that she deserves it, but that she can't raise a child alone. She said raising him alone is going to destroy her dream of being a notary. She works in public records and is 2 years away from running for the judiciary
she's the
to get her
worst.
own notary. I tried to explain to her as calmly as I could that my therapist is the one who recommended I cut off all contact with the two of them, and to please leave before I lost my mind. I love the child, but I don't want to take out my anger on an innocent. I told her the child deserves better and that she's currently responsible for giving it to him. I don't know how, but that's not my problem anymore. She resisted the urge to cry and make a scene because, once again, we were on the street and she always took into account what people said about her. The last thing she asked was to at least let her see the dogs. I told her no, that the best thing is for them to get used to her absence. After that, she just nodded and left. 2 days later, she called me when she received the divorce papers. My mistake was answering the phone because after about 30 minutes of her yelling, I managed to say that the papers have the number of my civil lawyer, so she can call her if she has any questions. After that, I silenced her number. She has not come to my house since then or tried to call again. That same day, I contacted a friend I made during my master's degree and asked her to go out. Okay.
What are you
Moving
doing?
a little quick here, but if that's what you feel is right.
Like I
I
said,
genuinely think that OP is in like such a horrible state of mind.
I
and
think
he's going scorched earth. Like I said,
I
yeah.
genuinely
But
think that in like a couple months, he's gonna be like, oh, I've kind of been going on this maybe not best. I don't know. Like, I think he might realize I miss that kid.
I mean, he did say he loves the kid, but
I
well,
think he's
maybe
gonna realize
later on
that,
in life
yeah.
they could reconnect.
Yeah,
And
I
like
don't-
get
yeah.
that, bond
I think
again.
he's in a
but-
terrible state of mind, which makes sense.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. She accepted, and we've been going out since then.
Oh.
Last Friday, I asked her to be an exclusive couple, and she accepted. She has stayed at my house for a few days now, and she already knows my dogs and adores them, which I appreciate, because I couldn't start something with someone who doesn't accept my pets. We are currently taking things easy. She knows the drama I am having with my ex and the child, and she respects my decision. She asked if I will ever have contact with the child again, and I told her maybe when he is old enough to understand my decisions, but that I don't expect it to interfere with my life in the future. She just nodded and was okay that I take myself as a priority during this process. Maybe this took a little longer than I expected, but this is the summary of what happened, and many people have been asking me for an update, so here it is. Oh, update 2
Oh,
a month
boy.
later.
Oh boy.
What do we think?
I think OP.
You think he married this girl? She's preg?
I don't know. I think OP's taking life pretty day by day right
yeah,
now.
Kelsey Jade says you need a different therapist. I agree. I agree.
But the situation, all in all, is I think again everyone sucks here, but OP
Yeah.
is allowed to make his decision and do it because
Oh yeah,
it's,
legally, he has every right.
yeah, exactly. So,
Don't agree that it was the best decision.
but yeah, we're not OP. We're not in
Yeah.
that decision.
Thank
Yeah.
God I'm not in this situation. I mean, I'd be going on, off.
Yeah.
I would be spiraling. I'd be like a little
And
coil.
that's what he's doing.
Yeah, yeah.
Literally.
Can't blame him. You can't really like his decisions, sure, but like the way he's thinking, the way he's going about life,
Yeah,
there's no way you can navigate this easily.
I know it's impossible. It's such a hard situation. I do not like blame him for having all of these feelings. Just probably wouldn't be how I went about that if I had a kid for 6 years.
Well, how to say it? I'm officially a divorced man. In my country, there is a type of divorce called a quick divorce, in which there are no common assets, joint finances, or children involved. The divorce can be carried out municipally and not judicially, avoiding the entire process that would have included conciliation, distribution of assets, etc. Based on what I've mentioned, you can guess that the only problem was the issue of the son. There came the issue of the paternity test, which verified that the child is not mine, and my name was successfully taken from his birth certificate along with my last name. The child currently has both of his mother's last names. As for how the divorce went, it was not easy. My ex-wife tried more than once to use the child's mental state to make me return to her, and although I thought about it more than once, it was remembering everything that happened that allowed me to stay focused. I must also thank my current partner, who supported me at all times and always supported my decisions. I already knew none of this is my fault, but having her tell me also somehow helped. After many discussions with our lawyers involved, I told her I can pay her half of what a nanny's salary costs for her son while she fixes her life, but that she will have to pay the other half, and whatever comes after, entirely on her own. Thank God she agreed, but I told her not to expect me to take care of her son for her, to which she also agreed. She has always been a person very dedicated to her work, so I suppose having to be a single mother has shocked her a lot. Out of mere curiosity, I asked her if she spoke with the child's father. She said she tried, that he even lived with them for 2 weeks at her parents' house, but that he and his son simply have nothing in common, and there is no way they can get along. She even had to intervene so that he and the child didn't end up screaming at each other. So after a couple of weeks, the guy just left. Although it is somewhat sad, she is a woman with a good job, and in a year, when she has the help of a nanny, that is more than enough time for her to find a suitable stepfather for her son. In the meantime, I don't plan to talk to the child yet. Maybe I will do in a couple of years or when he's a teenager, but if the child doesn't want to talk to me, I'm simply not going to insist. I understand if he hates me, so I won't try to have a relationship with him if he doesn't want to. After everything we talked about regarding the child, she told me that she hated me, and even more that I got a partner so quickly, which I thought was very rude because my current partner was there with us and I had to intervene before an argument between the two occurred. Even though she ended up signing the divorce papers and said she appreciated my help, she couldn't stand that throughout the conversation I looked down at her, as if I felt compassion for her. She has always been a fairly proud person because everything she has achieved has been on her own merit. So me looking down on her, making her feel less than me, made her feel hurt and angry. I was told I have the same look as always, and I seriously think she has some paranoia problem, but that's not my
She's
problem
got a lot
either.
of problems.
Yeah.
She has a lot of problems, and I
She
really
got a
hope that she
lot.
gets her son into therapy. If she can just do that, because she's
Ooh.
this lady.
Yeah.
She sucks.
She's not good. But you know what is good? If you listen to full episodes of stories just like this by going to Spotify, Apple Podcast, iHeartRadio, or your favorite podcast app, and just searching up OK Storytime. Yeah, this is not great. But
Yeah.
I commend him for trying to
I think it's
help out in
Of-
some sort of way.
Yeah, of the things that he did, like, again, legally has no obligation to the kid. I think it's
Yes.
good that he, obviously still has feelings for this, like parental feelings for this kid. If he was
Yeah.
like, well, I'm going to help you get a nanny.
I think he's trying to do the thing where he's like, I'm keeping 2 arms distance, but I'm here for the kid in a mindset that's like gonna help be okay for me, and that's it. Like,
I don't know.
yeah.
It's just it's hard. Truthfully, I don't think there's a right answer because I think
I mean, clearly not. It's super
any
divided.
answer you give, there's going to be downsides
Yeah.
to each. So would you rather, sacrifice your happiness, or would you rather keep that?
It's the
And
thing
I think that he is choosing right per se in a way that he's still kind of helping, but he's like, I'm done with that. And
Yeah.
he gave it like a deadline. He's like, after this, I'm
Yeah.
done, whatever. But I am going to at least give you something to have.
Yeah,
since
and
I'm not
we said it
there.
earlier too. It's the idea of lighting yourself on fire. And again, in this case, that's what it is, and it does suck because that was your family, and then the next day it's not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if it necessarily would be lighting himself on fire to have a relationship with his kid, but I do think that he needs a lot of help before he could even manage that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I just feel real bad for this kid. Oh boy, someone get this kid into therapy.
Yeah, he's going to need it.
My oh my.
All right, let's finish it up. The important thing is that she ended up signing the papers and that I can finally have my life again. Although for a year I will be paying half the minimum wage for a nanny. It is a fair price for peace, I suppose. I had bad feelings for her too, but during this month I ended up accepting it and moving forward. Yes, I hate her too, but not enough to say it directly or wish her bad karma. I suppose she has enough with her own problems. I thank my current partner for having to put up with all this. More than once I told her she didn't have to accompany me to meetings or worry about it, that they are my problems, but she said that my problems are hers too, and that I shouldn't carry all that alone. The truth is, it has helped me a lot to take a load off my shoulders. She also understands that I am in no hurry to get married, not this year and possibly not the next, and she understands it. At least this chapter of my life is about to close without long-term consequences for me. Well, you don't know that.
He said, "Yep, that kid doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah.
He's gone." And my last thought is if we reverse this situation, I would still say it'd be a little crazy if a woman, I mean, I don't know how that would work because a woman would know that the kid wasn't hers. But in the situation where there's an MPreg, I think after raising a kid for 6 years, I personally would have bonded with him. And I don't know if I would be able to get that child up.
Chris, he's here. Okay, now that I'm in my driveway, here's the thing. She lied to him the whole time about the kid. Maybe had she not lied, he may have been willing to try, but he shouldn't have to be reminded
I mean, we have a
of her
different-
lies for 5 years.
Yeah, we've
Okay.
had other lies for 5 years.
Sorry, I was like,
Um,
reminded of what?
No, I think it's fine to be like, we have different takes on how we would react to this situation. I think just for me personally,
Yeah.
I would have too much of a bond to that kid to be like, I'm gone.
Yeah.
If I were in OP situation.
Yeah. It would just, the thing is, I think people who do that, I think would definitely, you would you would be reminded every single time you go over there. And you don't want to resent the child. Like, I think he did the right thing in distancing himself, because I think, like, even that night was, like, not my kid.
Yeah, like, get out of the, definitely don't, like, if you feel like you're going to yell at the child or blame the child, separate.
Like I said, he's like, the child didn't do anything, but he's gonna look at the child and just be like, okay, you are not mine.
I think it's also
gonna make him angry and then get upset.
I think it's also a different scenario if you're, like, let's say you're in a world where OP had found out immediately that the kid wasn't his. I wouldn't, if he found, like, if she's like, oh, I'm pregnant, and he finds out, oh, this is not my kid, that would be crazy to be like, yeah, he should raise that kid. I think just the 5 years.
Truly, I think the worst part too, and because of what his ex-wife's, or I guess it's sister-in-law in this case, sister-in-law said was, one, I couldn't bear with it anymore because you seem so happy with your son, and I had just the grief and guilt that's putting on me, and then I've known about, like, this, I have to tell you, which is just like,
I think, truthfully, we would all do different things, and whatever you believe is right is what you believe, and who cares?
Yeah, at the end
We're
of the
just
day,
here to give a little bit of advice.
Yeah, we haven't experienced this situation, and I'm sure most of you also have not experienced this situation, so we're all allowed to.
We couldn't be goofy on that one.
My husband never stops talking. His own mother warned me about it.
Uh-oh, yapper. We got a yapper on the loose.
My husband, 30 male, talks so incessantly that I, 29 female, am tired of listening to him. This makes it hard for me to respond to his sincere bids for attention, and I would like advice on how to fix this other than ignoring him and losing my patience. So, this is pretty lighthearted and not the biggest deal in the world, but it is something I am struggling with all the time in my relationship. How much does he talk? My husband loves to talk. He is full of ideas, very smart, funny, and he is knowledgeable. He has been a talker his whole life. As a teen, he has had problems with cornering people and trapping them in a conversation, but he has improved and doesn't do that anymore. When I met his parents, his mom caught me alone and said, "How do you deal with it? You know, the talking." I said I tell him lovingly to shut up sometimes, and we laugh. She told me he started talking at 2 and has never stopped.
Oh.
By the way, this comes from Master 6000, and if you want to spend on stories, you know where to go. I'm Riley.
I'm Savannah.
I'm Keon.
And we're going to read Master 6000's story, funny. And if you don't like it, please put some comments down below. If you do like it, be goofy with us.
Yeah, please put some comments below if you do like it.
As OP says, it has been suggested to me that my husband may be a touch on the autism spectrum before. He and his dad could be a hair autistic, but the traits they have are mild compared to other autistic people I have met. So, what's the problem? I feel bad that I can't listen to my husband all the time. He talks so much about things that bore me that it fatigues me. By the time he has something important he wants to share with me, I have very little patience to listen. I have started ignoring him and pretending to listen. I didn't do this intentionally. It's just a coping mechanism that developed organically. My in-laws have been married for 30 years, and my father-in-law talks as much as my husband, and my mother-in-law has been ignoring him for most of their marriage. They're happy and in love, so it must work, but it makes me feel guilty. I also will have to punt him out of the house lovingly for the weekend and make him go spend time with his family or 1 or 2 of his friends, but it's only once a month or so. Husband is not very social. My husband says he doesn't mind that I ignore him because he wishes he could ignore his own brain too sometimes. He is very understanding, but I really want to be able to be more patient with him and respond in a better, kinder way to his bids for attention. My husband spends quite a lot of time being gentle with me and helping me deal with my baggage, daily struggles, and past trauma with patience and grace. I wish I could act as kindly to him as he does to me, but I keep failing. I wear my heart on my face and have poor control over my facial expressions, and he reads my face all the time, and he can tell when I'm upset when listening to him. I have a short attention span due to a learning disability. I really struggle.
Wow.
I'm not worried about a relationship lasting or not. We have a rock-solid foundation.
It's just two opposites.
And they're like kind of making it work.
Yeah.
Look at them go.
I'm worried about the quality of our relationship and how I can improve it so he is happier
Aw.
How can I pay more attention to my husband when it matters? How can I help him to feel heard by me? How can I help him to be able to talk to me without showing signs of my impatience or frustration? I mean,
this is hard.
I feel like there's got to be, okay, levels.
Yeah. What about it?
General talking.
Like
you just
easy-
talk.
Oh.
Yeah.
Easy,
Something that's
medium,
important to
hard.
say. Wait, I'm talking. I have something to say.
Yeah.
All right, here's the second thing. Ready?
Yeah.
Ringing a bell.
Yeah.
Level 2 importance. Level 3, do a little air horn.
Sound the alarm. I did an air horn at Tahoe. Scared Sophia. She jumped like a cat. It was so
Okay,
funny.
well, don't lose me now. Number 4, I think if it's super important to him, he can write you an email. Like, hey, this is important. I want to talk about it. Here are the things I want to talk about. Keep it concise so then we can, like, focus on that slice of the cake. I've been saying slice of the cake a lot recently. Because
Cake.
sometimes, like almost here, we almost went to a rabbit hole, but I got us back to the slice of cake we were on. Thoughts on that? What do we think about that? We get it on different levels. Because
Is this like a tier 1 like conversation to have? Is this like what do
Yes.
you want to talk about? Yeah.
Yes, because this is a two-way street. Conversation is just not one person. If one person knows they talk all the time and it's just they have the responsibility of breaking up the sound of that into something that is more direct.
Yeah.
For further reading on this topic, example of things he likes to talk about, what price silver is today, and how silver is a stable currency that will hold its buying power over time, how the world economy market is headed for a crash. This honestly stresses me out and upsets me, and I've told him. His project of the month. This month, it is learning to solder. Sometimes his projects are too ambitious, and I have to put my foot down and insist that he scales them back a bit. His money-making schemes. Very dry technical stuff like the pathways substances take through the brain or the finer points of cereal crops and their production.
You know what he needs? He needs like a boyfriend that he can just like talk to people about this stuff who will actually reciprocate what he wants to talk about.
No, I agree. I think he does need a friend to just kind of spit this stuff out all the time.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, low-key, sounds like a bunch of nonsense.
It sounds like a bros night. It sounds like you're just gonna sit and talk about God knows what, and like, you know, and
Truly.
but that's what guys do. I feel. I mean, I don't know.
But the thing is, he's not sociable. He does get to see his friends maybe once in a blue moon.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Maybe calling.
Can
them.
we suggest an information diet? Sometimes whenever you're going low contact with someone,
Trim
you
the
put them on an
fat.
information diet. What?
Trim like the fat, you know?
Trim the fat.
Mm.
You're like, babe, this sounds really interesting. What is something that I can take away? Because with my learning of communication, a lot of things that I've learned is like usually 20% of what you say stick with people. So you have to put really big emphasis on what you want to stick with other people. And that's why I repeat myself, or that's why I say certain things all the time. So then that sticks with people. Because a lot of this other fluff is going to be like chopped down. The only thing you're going to remember about this is people remember 20% of what I say. All the other stuff's gone. Because our brains can only handle so much stuff. And if you're constantly like overloaded, then you break down.
Well, specifically for me, I have a really hard time, like, summarizing a story. Like, I could not, TLDR, I'm horrible at doing it because I
You can
can't.
do this one?
I can't not, I don't know. I would say, yeah, this one, yeah, he talks too much. And OP is trying to find a way how they can work around that. Like, that
was brilliant. What are
Yeah,
you talking about?
But sometimes when there's more, this doesn't really have a lot of information. It's just him talking, you know, about nonsense. And
if there was
she
more
wants-
players in the game, it probably would take a little longer. to
Yeah,
summarize.
like, I don't know, especially, obviously longer stories are going to have, like, longer TLDRs. But it's just, I can't leave out a detail. That's, like, hard for me. It's like, I feel like if I leave out the detail, then I'm like, oh. But then when I do say the details, then it goes off on the tangent of, like, how I felt in that moment and, like, the details that happened. Then you're thinking about
And
like
it's
a
another
bowl of
tangent.
noodles.
Yeah.
Sorry?
It's another tangent. It's like a grapevine.
Yeah, and then I'm like, okay, wait, back to the story. Like, it's really hard. I have
Yeah.
to tell every single detail.
I know how Savannah's brain works now.
It's hard.
I want to talk about bowls of noodles and waffles after this.
Yum.
Food.
You know what I'm talking about? Okay. Anyways, update. Guys, you've all been super nice and supportive. I think my biggest takeaway so far as follows. 1. I need to work on my feelings of guilt at being incapable of listening to everything my husband says. No one can listen to another person that much. I have some internal work to do. 2. I need to set boundaries and make some signal that I need quiet time, be it removing myself physically, making a funny quiet hat, etc. 3. I could try establishing a rule that if I don't have eye contact, I am not listening. 4. My husband could start journaling, posting to hobby groups online, filming himself, make a podcast, etc. He needs a creative outlet for his ideas.
Boom.
I agree with that big time because he's always
Yeah.
talking about how things are processed, his new money
The
schemes,
financial world, yeah.
like all these things. I agree with that.
This guy's got a million things on his mind, and he wants to just speak about it.
That's me.
I think also maybe like I don't know if this is maybe too much, but if he likes to play video games, like, you know, talking to other people online, I think would be a great thing for him. So then it's like less social anxiety. You don't like see the person, you don't see, you know, oh, they're fading out or whatever. And like usually when you're like playing a video game, you like, I don't know, for me, I'll listen, but also I'm in the video game. So
I feel like being in a social world instead of just if taking someone out of the social element, I feel like everyone should go to a pub or like a bar or like meet other people.
but it's not
I don't
for
know.
everyone though.
A lot of you agree that he seems a bit autistic or that he has ADHD, but I think it's clear that he isn't neurotypical. I have ADHD myself. My husband likely has anxiety and needs to address it somehow. My husband needs to get my attention before he starts talking so he can be sure he's not interrupting me. We as a couple need to communicate better. I need to verbally tell him when I am done, and he needs to verbally get my attention and eye contact when talking. I think this is going to be well. It is nice to hear that there are a few other weirdos out there who would listen to my husband's rambling, and I'll let him know what you said. Yeah. My mom had to create a boundary with my dad. My dad kept talking about how the world's flat, how this is happening, how
Oh,
everything's
God.
evil, blah, blah, blah. My mom's like, you got to stop.
Mm-hmm.
You're putting a damper on things. The things you say in this house have weight, and that weight is bringing me down.
Yeah.
If she's 5'5", she can't go down any lower.
Aww. I undermined my wife over a fan, and now she's telling me to move out.
What kind of fan are we talking about?
Okay, so I, 40 male, and my wife, 38 female, have had a blazing row this weekend. Early in the week, I used some bonus money from work to buy 2 new tower fans as our children, 1 youngster and 2 teenagers, needed new fans. The younger one was suffering from the heat, and the one they had was not working at full power.
Oh my God.
Whilst the teenagers who share a room had broken theirs 2 years ago, and we'd not been able to afford to replace it.
Whoa.
Well, finally the day arrives when they are due to arrive, and finally, one does. Obviously, this is an issue, so I speak to the company and am trying to sort a replacement, but for now, I have 1 new tower fan.
All right.
So I set it up and tell my youngest that they can have it, as they suffer from a bedroom that is one of the hottest rooms.
Oh.
My wife is pottering about the house, but fully knows that this is the case. Fast forward to bedtime for our youngest, and my wife turns to our youngest and tells them that they can't have the new fan, but we have cleaned out the dust and cleaned their old fan, which is now working slightly better, but nothing like the new fan. By the way, this comes from FluffyListen4368, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. I'm Savannah.
I'm Riley.
I'm Keon.
And we're here to give some good advice in a little goofy way, but we don't have all your answers. We only tell you what we would do, but let us know what you would do down in the comments. As Opie says, cue a full-on meltdown, tears, crying, everything, as they were promised the fan and now Mummy has told them no. I then sit and have to comfort our child who is screaming and crying and is deeply upset. Their mom wanted to put them to bed, but they were in no fit state and didn't want to go up to bed. Their mom kept shouting down the stairs for them to come up to bed, and I just comforted my child. I did say that what their mom did wasn't fair, but we would just have to deal with it. So my wife then gets the hump and states I can just put our child to bed and goes up to our bedroom to, put it bluntly, sulk. I finally calm our child down and put them to bed, saying I'll try and get them a fan tomorrow. The argument comes now. She comes downstairs and starts shouting and pointing at me, telling me that I should never, ever put her down to her children, and a series of other derogatory comments.
Wow.
I told her she was in the wrong and left it at that.
So I'm looking at tower fans right now, USD. Some are going as low as $30 and
Yeah.
as high as $200.
Let's meet in the middle. Let's meet in the
Truthfully,
middle.
I need a
About
fan.
$100.
Let's go about $100.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what quality this is, but I get $100. That's a lot of money. Here's my thing. Let's say it's really cold.
'Kay.
And your kids don't have a heater.
Yeah.
Does that change the narrative of this story?
My dad would be like, put on a sweatshirt.
Yeah.
My dad would be like, put
My
on
mom
clothes.
would just give us like extra blankets.
Yeah.
So you would say
Like we're not
being-
gonna go.
So you would say being hot is worse off than being cold.
Yes.
I disagree. I think that being cold is way worse.
Being cold, you can add clothes.
You can
Being
add
hot,
clothes.
You can't take off clothes.
You can take off clothes, but you're still gonna be hot.
Yeah.
But
Would you rather have it colder in here or hotter in here?
I'd say a little colder.
That you would rather have it.
I would say I would rather have it a little colder, but truthfully, I think it's perfect right now. I'm not hot at all. There's a little bit left, and I'm going to get right to it. The next part is where I think I went overboard. Today, my wife and I have been civil, but she has reminded me several times about how horrible I was to her. I waited until our youngest was in bed and then told her calmly and with a measured voice that what she did was unacceptable, to take something I had bought and paid for and told my daughter she could have, to decide differently and to give it to our older teens who broke the last fan we had bought them. This escalated. She did what happens quite often. She threw our relationship in my face, telling me to find somewhere else to live, and told me I was useless.
Wow.
I did call her a psychopath,
Wow.
primarily because she knows what she did was wrong but won't admit to it and is sticking to her pew-pews so rabidly. It's concerning how aggressive she is doing so. Anyways, am I the a-hole?
I don't understand. Like, you bought something and this is a dumb argument.
Yeah. Toxic. Toxic, I would say. Wouldn't you, Savannah?
I think that the relationship is more than this fan.
Wow.
Yes.
I think it goes
That's
beyond.
some analyzing type shit right there. Look at
Yeah.
you go.
Yeah, I think
What
it
was it?
goes-
What was the real problem?
Real problem is, I think, financial insecurity and how they're both trying to kind of fight and be able to. But truthfully, I don't know if they were in a better financial situation, if that would help them. Truthfully, I
Yeah.
don't know.
Sometimes my thought process with things like this is if you can do good with the little that you have, whenever you have more
Exactly.
stuff, you'll do better with that. But if you can't manage
Yeah.
the little that you have now, even though it's uncomfortable, then whenever you get more stuff, it's not. That's why
Yeah.
you're not going to do good. That's why people who win the lottery oftentimes become bankrupt
Yeah. Because they're like,
because they win all that money, but they don't know how to manage it.
yeah.
God, if I win the lottery, I'm taking a year off, doing nothing. I am going and getting my
Oh.
mind centered for a whole year, and then I'm coming back to all this money.
My husband refuses a side hustle, so we're stuck in a sketchy neighborhood.
Ooh, how sketchy is it? Are they artists?
My husband and I, both early 30s, make decent livings. Right now, I'm on a maternity leave, and my income is drastically reduced, which is okay for now because I have some savings. I've always had 2 jobs. One is my main day job and then a side hustle, which isn't crazy, but definitely helps with bills and fun. My husband and I usually split everything 50-50. The issue arises here. I have a decently higher savings amount than my husband, and I believe it's partly because of my side hustle. I've been encouraging him to get something on the side, I don't care what, but he absolutely refuses because he previously did Uber for a bit and is traumatized by that experience. I've been telling him there are many other options and to just brainstorm and be open to it, but he refuses. He wants to live like he did in college and save money by eating ramen. But I told him that's just not feasible. We have a child, car payments, electricity bills, etc. I'm sorry. He wants to live like he's in college while he has a kid? Some additional info. We moved cities because of affordability. And he asked what the point of moving was if he still doesn't have work-life balance. He went from working 5 days in person to 3 days when we moved cities. So his work-life balance improved. I was always the only one with 2 jobs. The reason any of this came up is because we have an issue with our house and he's stressing about the cost of it. I suggested a side hustle so he can build up a bit of a nest egg, and he completely shut the conversation down. By the way, this comes from Weeboo123. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/showcase Storytime subreddit. I'm Sophia.
I'm Savannah.
I'm Riley.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we do. So let us know what you would do in the comments. And OP says, he's a fantastic partner, And we split chores / taking care of baby 50-50. I'm frustrated, but I do see his side. I had money trauma growing up, so maybe I'm bringing that in. But at the same time, I want both of us to be building a future together. And I want to go on vacation and do fun things. So am I the a-hole? And we do have an edit. But what do you think? What do y'all think?
You should get a third job.
Keep working. Work till you drop.
I don't think you're the a-hole for wanting your partner to also provide as much as you do.
Especially because he's
understand-
only working 3 days.
Yes, I understand if it's like a more demanding job, like say they're, doing more, but that's not the case here.
Yeah.
The case is he's only working 3 days.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm okay with him working 3 days if this is the same amount of hours.
Yeah,
Or
if he's
same
getting-
amount of hours, same
yeah.
amount of money, maybe. But if he really hates the idea of getting a side hustle, then tell him to get a better main hustle.
That's true, yeah.
Just get a better job, dude. Come on. Let's start working 5 days a week. Edit. Okay, I'm reading through your comments and wanted to answer some recurring questions. Okay, he works full time, which is 40 hours a week. Okay.
Okay.
He is working the 5 days. He takes it easy on Fridays, games while working, but makes up for it on the other days he's in office. I'm still doing my side hustle while on maternity leave, but will be taking the summer off. I was initially contributing the same 50-50 from my savings and maternity leave earnings, but lowered it to 30-40 or 70-60 depending on the month and if we had any major unforeseen expenses. I do think I've taken on a bit more in terms of chores, but he still does quite a lot and is always there to help with anything I need. When I say take more vacations, I mean take one, dirt cheap, all-inclusive to somewhere in the Caribbean that would give me a few days of sun in the cold winter. I grew up really frugal, so I'm not trying to break the bank and go for something super lavish. I made him return an iPhone he got for my birthday a few years ago because it was too expensive. And I wanted him to save. Got me an Android, which was, in my opinion, better and cheaper. Normally, I agree with the saving strategy, and I'm still not opposed to it. But we're already saving as much as we can. We have one shared, very economical car that is well-maintained and reliable. We have a tiny apartment that is affordable, but will need upgrading once baby is a bit bigger and starts going to school. A big reason for wanting him to have more saved is so we can move out of this neighborhood, it's kind of sketchy, and go somewhere else where I won't feel unsafe taking my kid to the park. We thankfully don't have financial trouble, but I am afraid we, especially him, are one big scary thing away from being in financial trouble. Hence the post. And the verdict is a-hole.
Wow.
That
Wow.
I wasn't
Wow.
expecting that. I can't say that I was expecting that.
Now, I will say, I grew up in a place where both men and women financially supported the household. My mother financially supported me for a very long time. My father helped out a little bit. But, my grandpa had a full-time job, and he also had side gigs. And that's just kind of how things were. And it's always like he was equally providing, or maybe providing a little bit more depending on the year. But the guy's always stepping up to provide. I could not ask my wife, who also has a kid, to contribute more. Or me not wanting to step up to the plate as much as she is.
Or even just like taking the load off with the with the chores.
That's crazy.
Yeah. When she's pregnant, 2 jobs or a job and a side hustle. Don't know how time consuming that is, but yeah, I wonder why everyone was saying a-hole. Maybe there's something more here. OP says, thank you to everyone for all your comments. I took some time to read through and process everything and really appreciate all the advice. I booked a call with my therapist to talk this through because I think the issue goes deeper and is more reflective of me not being able to decenter work and pushing it on him due to aforementioned childhood money trauma. I don't want us to work till we pass away. I think I was inadvertently pushing us to do that, good intentions or not. Not that it matters, but I covered finances for a couple years while he was struggling to find a job. I put the majority of the payment on our car when he didn't have any savings and helped him with his credit card / rent payments when we were dating. I put 85% of the down payment for our house and frequently dip into my savings to cover all mutual expenses.
Oh my gosh.
I don't think this is you centering work too much. I think it's you having to carry a lot of the weight.
Yeah.
Yeah, 85% of the down payment?
We've got a little bit left.
Oh, here you go.
I was just about to say, D-Red says they have different views on how money should be made. She is letting her trauma lead the relationship, and I agree.
I feel like it's like a combo of that maybe she's over worried because she said, oh, we're just one bad thing away from
because
ruin.
we're also seeing it from her trauma perspective. So from her perspective of her writing it being like, oh my gosh, we're like, because she never said they're like in debt.
Well, she said specifically, we're financially okay. I would
Yes.
like to be in a better position
Yeah.
for a baby.
Which everyone does.
But I think what she really shows her trauma is, well, I feel like we're about to be, something bad could happen. Which, of course, that's true.
Just, she wants to prepare, which
Mhm.
I believe, yes.
However, I also think, kind of defending her a little bit, I think it's partially that. And I think some of it is that she actually has been contributing most of the funds, seemingly at least, according to her.
She definitely has been. I'm not trying to diminish that or take that away from her. Like, she definitely is the breadwinner, I would say.
It seems so.
Yeah.
It seems like a consistent pattern, and she might just want a little bit more help around the house and with.
But she says that he helps around the house.
She said he could do more with chores. She says
Okay.
she does most of the chores. I'm not a heinous, wealth hoarding dragon villain, which trying to whip him into giving me every penny he makes so I can go on a Caribbean cruise by myself, like many of you are trying to make out. But thanks for the laugh. Like I mentioned, the money would be put towards getting out of this neighborhood and paying off debts. If I had enough by myself, I wouldn't have made this post. We will not be fully combining both our accounts. I've seen enough in my day-to-day / read online to have many reasons why that's a bad idea. He's on the same page about this. It protects both of us. Obviously, I still have his back and he has mine. Husband read through the comments and he actually feels bad because he feels the comments got way too out of hand. But I still think they were insightful. Thank you all. And that's the end. Honestly, I don't think there is any a-hole here.
I kind of want to read the comments. Like,
Yeah,
what
I
do
feel
the
like the comments were
say?
like,
how dare you? Yeah,
Um,
like, I don't
if
know.
they're all calling her the a-hole. I don't think there is any a-hole here. I think you guys just needed to talk a little bit more and figure out a thing that works for both of you.
You're the a-hole. Not everyone wants to spend every waking moment of their lives working.
It's not what she said.
Yeah. It's not like he isn't working. I don't think it's fair to expect him to get a second job if that means being away from his family more. Info, how much are they actually making and what is your cost of living? Someone's trying. Just wow, hey Hubs, you work full time, but it'd be nice if you work more. Jeez Louise. You're the always seems content and values free time with his family more than the perceived ease having a bit more income could create. If all you do is work, then what makes life worth living? Sometimes it's like you are projecting a scarcity mindset onto your husband, and this could lead into unnecessary drama, especially if he is not as capitalistic or materialistic as you. If caught in cust in his solution is his solution, then you should respect it and allow him to find creative ways to save money or help cover unexpected things. And Opie says, I like the way you said that about projecting scarcity mindset. Thank you for the insight. Yeah. I used to have a scarcity mindset, and it was very anti-God. And then I was like, oh, you need to have an abundant mindset. And that kind of helps you not think that everything is limited.
Yeah, we talked about that. It definitely came through. I
Yeah.
think it's a little bit harsh to say that, she's, I don't know. I that
She's
comment-
like gonna take away his life.
or was materialistic.
Yeah,
you
or was-
know?
I don't think she was
said I wanted to have
materialistic.
a vacation and live in a safe neighborhood for my child so I can walk him to the park.
Yep.
Feels
That's
fair.
literally all she wants.
Yeah. But that's the end of that story.